Hillcrest High School, Alvord District's newest high school in Riverside County, is a state-of-the-art facility built to house 1,600 students.
What's the first phase?
Classrooms are equipped with digital blackboards.
Trophy!
There's an air-conditioned gymnasium and a rubberized track surrounding an artificial turf football field.
As I was walking to the football field, I looked at the whole location, and I said, wow, this is really nice.
But when Herb Calderon became the Assistant Superintendent for Business Services for the Alvord Unified School District in July 2012, he noticed that some of the school's planned features were missing.
When I got to the top of the stairs, immediately it caught my attention. It's like, where's the bleachers? And of course, that's when I was told that, well, it was one of those decisions that we had to cut because we ran out of money.
The school was initially financed by $53 million of traditional bonds, but there were budget shortages. To help finance the rest of the $110 million school, the district turned to a creative and controversial method of financing.
Alvord sold about $57 million worth of cabs. And over a 40-year period, that $57 million is going to cost the people of Alvord a total of about $375 million.
Those costly cabs are capital appreciation bonds, a way of postponing debt payments far into the future. Traditional school bonds require borrowers to start making payments within 6 months. In the end, the borrower pays about 2 to 3 times the amount borrowed. Payments on cabs can be delayed for decades. Alvord's loan of $57 million will cost 6.5 times the borrowed amount. But some cabs in California can go up to 23 times the original amount borrowed.
I don't think that's a wise thing.
Bill Lockyer, California State Treasurer, believes these long-term payment bonds are fiscally unsound.
It really boils down to a simple matter, which is, should school districts be making these deals where there's a huge balloon payment on their debt someday and they're not paying for it as they use the new facility?
In my eyes, the district is bankrupt already. They just don't know it because they haven't had to default on a payment yet.
Scott Andrews, an Alvord district resident, ran for the school board in 2009 because he was worried about the way the school district was borrowing money.
Once they start having to make payments of 19 and 20 and $25 million a year toward those bonds, the tax base doesn't support it. So nobody's been able to tell me how they're going to pay these off.
The Alvord School District is hardly an isolated case. A California Watch investigation found that California has some of the loosest rules governing capital appreciation bonds. 321 school districts have borrowed over $5.5 billion that will end up costing taxpayers almost $22 billion. In Alvord, school district officials say they had no choice but to turn to the controversial cab bonds to finance their high school. The district was short of money, and there was a great demand for a new school.
I know the state treasurer is upset with these, and of course he indicated that guys like me that put these deals together, we should be fired. But people need to realize that, your kids are going to be saddled with this debt and their kids and so forth. But look what they're getting. They're still getting a quality educational building.
In Northern California, the Napa Valley School District also resorted to cabs to finance the construction of their new American Canyon High School. Their reason? They promised local taxpayers their rates would not increase.
Our promise to the voters of Napa was to keep their tax bill at or below 39 or 36, and we were able to accomplish that.
Jose Hurtado, a Napa school board member for the last 8 years, said the board was just doing what voters wanted.
The truth is, I don't see any fault here. The community agreed with us, and they approved the bond, and then we went around funding those bonds.
But Scott Andrews questions why such high-tech schools need to be built now, during a time of financial distress.
If you don't have the money to pay for it, then we maybe should have toned it down a bit.
I hope the exposure of these deals to the public will result in kind of a moratorium for a while. Ultimately, I think the law needs to get changed.
Meanwhile, local school districts say they have no choice but to fund schools any way they can.
As long as the state of California does not fully fund education, does not fully fund our educational needs and our educational requirements, guys like me are forced to look and be creative in our financing.